Right, Ledges, can everybody hear me? And what chart can you see? Let's get audio visual check and we can begin. Hi Charlie, YS, JB, Jack, Alp, Daniel, Futurefied. Is audio working? Hopefully it is. I had some issues earlier, so hopefully that's sorted. CRV. Huh? How are you seeing a CRV chart? Oh, yes, you are. What am I saying? Yes, you are. Yes. I'm on the wrong chart, actually. I gotta find my Bitcoin one. Let's find the Bitcoin. So, everybody having a good weekend? Yes, like the video, please. So subscribe to the channel, etc. Okay, that's good. It's my mistake. So let me get the necessities out of the way with, and we begin. Okay. So welcome to a weekly live Bitcoin update video. Before we start, I just want to say thanks to our sponsor PrimeXBT for making this happen. You can show them some appreciation by signing up to their platform using the link in the description. If you use the code TraderSZ, you'll also get a 50% deposit bonus. Finally, just a reminder that nothing discussed today constitutes financial advice, and you should always do your own research before doing any kind of investing or trading. Okay, that's done. Also, check out Prime. Well, it supports the stream. They're also offering, new settlement pairs, like, to make it basic so people understand. Your P&L in USDT, USDC now. So not just Bitcoin now. So definitely check them out. Use my link. No harm in just clicking the link, checking what they got to offer. It's free. Okay? Plus, it supports the stream. So if you like these streams, they are the ones that sponsor it. So it shows them some support as well. Okay? Anyways, what's going on? Okay? Let's start with Bitcoin. We'll do Bitcoin, maybe take one or two more alts. Okay? I personally haven't really been trading Bitcoin as much. This week's sort of been range bound. Obviously, if you're a scalper, it's great. You can play. These sort of environments are great for scalpers. I'm more of a swing trader. So it's alts really I've been focused on, but we will go over this. Also, I got the free Telegram group. Okay, so I update. If you prefer cleaner feed without my shit posting, it's free. Telegram group. It's in the description or the pinned tweet on my Twitter profile. So join that. I post there more now. But okay, let's get started. What's going on Bitcoin? So I'm going to start with a clean chart today. Okay, start with a clean chart. Go back and forward. I did post this chart when it was here. What do I think of this? So I'll start with my bigger picture, okay? Let's start bigger picture monthly. What's going on with the high time? Actually, let's look at the yearly. I haven't looked at that in ages. We're using the same chart. Reason why we've been using the same chart, this one, is because we've been within this range. So I will refer back to this. But there's not much been the difference. So yeah, there's been no need to use something new. Okay, glad you enjoyed the Telegram. So hello Trader XO, Justine, Naz, yes, Simon. Okay, if I haven't called your name, I do apologize. There's just loads of you here. So I'm not going to focus on the chat for now. I'll focus on the chat once I've done what I've got to say. Okay, so yearly, what's going on? So not much to say, obviously. Still, there's no range it's stuck within. It's just broken out. Quarterly, not much to work with. Okay, usually I like the quarterly, say, we're within here. Say we're within here. That's when the quarterly charts, I can see previous quarterly ranges. Right now, I can't really see much, so there's no point. But we'll flick through anyway. It's just procedure. Monthly. Okay, now we can work with the monthly now. Okay. Is it going to keep going up? The way I'm looking at it is ride it till it proves to me otherwise. I think what happens is the difficult part is continuously riding a trend. Okay. I don't think it's waiting for a dip. Waiting for a dip and shorting is probably the easier play. It's easy when you're on board. So there's two types of sides, in my opinion, the way I think about it. One, those that are long and they're hyping it up, bull only. Others that aren't in and they're comfortable sitting in, but are wanting a dip. Okay? I don't care about either. I'm just going to trade what the market tells me. If the market suggests it's ready to go down, I'll start taking shorts. Till then, directionally anyways, obviously there's shorts within a range, that's different. I'm only going to share directional plays that are high probability. Why? I'm only doing these streams once a week. I can't update regularly, okay? Just like the stream, there's over 200 of you. Let's get it to 100. Helps the YouTube algos. So what do we have to work with? So I'm going to mark in a faint color, but we've got last month's high, okay? And as you can see, that's capping the market. So at this point, one could argue, okay, it's pretty bearish. It's similar to the previous month's January high. So let's mark that out. I'm going to do it in a lighter color because I want to emphasize the smaller time frame ranges we've got, okay? So we'll do that in this blue color here. So it just doesn't stand out too much. That's last month. So that's capping the market right now. And as before, I'm marking this out so we know what we got to work with, okay? So that's that done. Let's go to the weekly now. Do we have more to work with? Well, we do. So it's about above here. So easy way is, okay, I mean this time, but on the weekly basis anyway, it just smashed through January's high and then settled, okay, and then pushed up. So where are we trading within? We are still between February high and January high. Just a starting point, okay? It's just a starting point while we zoom in further and further. Leave your question till the end, Jericho. Let me get through what I've got to get through. You may answer your question. And if you've got a question in the end, then we'll go through. Let me get through what I've got to go through, okay? So that's that done. What do we have to work with now? Well, which weekly candle were we looking at before? It was this high, which ends up being February high, if you remember, and this low here, which is which chart? Which is this chart here, there to there. We'll get back to that later. So let's do it fresh, you know, start from the beginning. Okay, so what I'm going to see here is, okay, what is the key levels for me? Well, one key level is what capped last week's low. So when we broke out of here, that high, this was the initial high set. Okay, broke out, that was the initial high set. And this is significant for me. Why? Because it's the initial level or data point for me to work with after breaking into a new territory, i.e. break out of this range. We can all agree that this is a range, a couple of weeks range, however you want to look at it, it is a range. Okay, so let's mark that out. Let's see how that looks like. For now, I don't know, but we're gonna build the picture together. Remove what we don't need, okay, add what we do, and go from there. So that's there. I'll do that in a different color. Let's do dark blue, okay, and give that a bit of girth. Okay, that's that done. Has that been significant? Yes, it has. So if you look at it, okay, it's this point. So that's a low point for me. Just so happens to be last week's low. So that's the SR level. It's not exactly the midpoint, but I'll work with that. It's proven to be significant here on the weekly. That's all I need to know. Now we'll go to the lower time frame and see, okay, how has that proven itself? Okay, I also mark out last week's high. No, yeah, leave that for now. So let's go to the lower time frame and see how did price action react around that. Okay, so if you can see the importance of it, it was proven here. Once made daily close above, that's when it gained traction. See here, wicked it above, close below it, couple of deviations, push lower. You can see the resistant SR there, deviated it, got back below it, and once he made a clean thrust again, we spoke about these setups here at the time, that's when he gained traction. Okay, so this is a very, very key important level now. So it's going to be acting as a magnet. If I was bearish, it would be a magnet, or if it flipped below this level, it's proven itself to be a flipping point, key pivotal level. Okay, it would, I'd assume it would be the same thing if it got back below here. So for now, that makes me think I only need to focus within here now. Okay, like I said, I'm breaking down. We broke it down from this now towards this. Okay, so I'm going through it very, very slowly. This is how I break down any market. It doesn't matter what asset class it is. Okay, so identify where is the range, what do I need to worry about, what do I need to not worry about. Okay, now that's done. If we look within this, okay, we've created another range. So we can sort of say, argue that we can split this up, can't we? Okay, I'm just eyeballing it right now. But that's sort of, these are two further halves of the range. So now we can see within this, we found a floor, right? A break of this opens the gates towards this area here. Everybody with me so far? I'm going through it very, very slowly, okay? So I know that this is a support level now. And if I want to play a breakout, it's going to be below here. And this is still support, okay? So that's done now. And this is also the base of the move. So if I go to the lower time frame, do you remember this chart I had posted here, okay? Similar to this, okay? I've been posting on Twitter, but we're just doing it from scratch. That's all we're doing. Oh, shit. Where's it gone? Okay. So if I break it down further, what can I use here? What levels have markets been contained within or, you know, capped within. So I'm going to draw this level out. Okay, this is significant. And that's the level I charted. So if you're following the Telegram, I also watched on the Twitter feed as well. Okay, that is the level that's capping the downside. So what I'm doing is identifying my boundaries as where I'm going to deal with it. That's what I'm doing. Okay, it's not a trade setup. This is not a trade. This is just me identifying what zones or areas I need to deal within, and around those levels is where I hinge my trade ideas. There's no trade idea right now. Okay, it's just putting all the pieces of the jigsaw together for now, or gathering the pieces, whatever you want to call it. So we've got this now, haven't we? Okay, so now it's more clearer that how important this floor is. So this was the initial base, okay, or topping, not base, but you know, consolidation. Once it broke, significant there, and this region here has been significant bounces. Okay, you can see every time it deviates below this level, reclaims, it pushes towards what? At this level here. So see here, it did this deviation. Once it go back above, push towards there. So as long as this holds, that's capping the downside. Okay, so with this way, why I do this is because if I'm unsure about higher time frame direction, I don't need to worry about higher time frame direction, do I? If I've identified the markets within a range, I only need to worry about which region price is within. And if, say for example, I'm short, that's my next objective, just for example's sake, then that's a clear target. I know that if it breaks this level, if I wanted to hold on to it, but because we've entered a new range, that gives me the confidence to hold on to a position. You understand? So it helps me identify how to manage the trade as well. Okay, that's done now. So let's zoom in a bit more now. What else do I have to work with? Not much. So I'm just going to focus within here now. Since it's a range band, I can't really mark out trending patterns or trending plays while we're within here. Okay. So break it down further, and what I can say is what levels intra-week have been capping the market. So what we can do is let's split this up, and this is where the Monday's range is going to come in, because Monday, at least the low, has been capping the upside. February high has been capping the upside. So you can see a deviation, but you can see this here. So for example, say keep in mind what I said earlier. This was capping the upside here, right at the beginning, and this is capping here. We had the deviation. We couldn't really gain traction within the second half of the leg. So sorry, let me just push the screen up. So a similar thing here. So see this here. So imagine this, right? Imagine this. This was like a pivot. So it was contained within the top half. This is contained within the top half, right? There's nothing bearish about this. Yes, individual candles may look bearish at one point, but really and truly what's happening, fuck all, it's range bound. Okay? So if you want to get hyped over a 1 minute chart, go hype, get hyped if that makes you happy. But really and truly, until this is broken, then we can start talking about this target here. Is that making sense to everybody? Okay? I'm just trying to explain my thought process. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. No harm done. Okay, so at what point here, now that we know that was capped, so let's draw that level in anyway, okay, instead of me having to redraw it each and every time. So your paid group leader will update you on this later on, okay? So let's carry on. I'll probably introduce a few lessons on ranges. So let's continue now. We can see that was a deviation, okay? So deviation, but still nothing's happened. At one point this was a full-on bearish candle. The moment it deviated, so if we had this level drawn out, which we did, if you remember at the time we did have this drawn out. If you recall all weeks back why this was a significant level, I explained that back then, didn't I? So then I said once it clears this, okay, it's done deviation once. If we're correct, we shouldn't come back above here. It made that daily close, which suggested to me, okay, we are now within this territory, okay? We are within this territory. I bet you your paid group will do this. Promise you he will. Because what I've done is leaked one where I tried before and it happened, but it's fun, all fun and games. So at this point, it proved to me that I wanted to go higher. Okay, consolidation. After a while, based on context, that this shouldn't have been happening. Probability-wise, not guaranteed, probability-wise, the play towards here is the higher probability play. Having said that, we've done, at this level, we've done one deviation here, another one here. Why is it not breaking out? Why is it still being hugging the upper side? Okay, so okay, if it does break below here, I'll accept the fact this is distribution, whatever. Break below, that's when we get the trending. I'll catch that move. We'll mark that later. But for now, to prove it otherwise, if it closes back above again, This is based on daily, okay, for directional play, not 1 minute. 1 minute is just noise or for scalpers, okay? Then that would suggest to me we're ready for the next leg up. Let's start marking out objectives for that. Again, I'm going to mark out more conservative objectives, okay? But let's do it anyway. Conservative objectives, why? Because if I mark out higher objectives, I can't update you guys as much, okay? But if I mark out more conservative, they have a more higher probability to get hit, and they do. So yeah, let's go backwards, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark out. Don't need these levels here. Let's get rid of some of these levels. Don't need that. Don't need that. Okay, the fib extensions as I use. So I need to draw them again. Just based on, so because we're within this leg, right? So it's based on the fib extension that you can draw neatly yourself. I'm not exactly drawing it neat. So that's that done. And then one more there. So usually the targets I use, I mean, there's many ways of doing it, of course. Okay, you just go with what you want. This is a basic one I'm just using. Okay, there's many variations of using tools, equal measure moves, fib extensions, options. I'm giving you a basic one, and then you can evolve whatever you prefer. Okay, so that's that done. I need to know what I'm targeting. So whereas here I had a clear target to reach for, here I don't. I've only got, price discovery. So if it breaks out, obviously short term is going to be this high, and then after that it's going to be here, here, and here. Okay. Everybody with me so far? I'm going slowly so everybody understands the exact thought process from start to beginning, why I like these ranges, why I'm targeting here, and how exactly I'm looking to enter. That's a trade plan on its own, my blueprint. And for those that say the edge is gone, the edge is not gone. The edge is the trader itself. Okay? Everybody knows how to draw SR. Not everybody can trade based on SR. It's consistency, repeating the same thing again and again. So you can see, do you remember earlier when I posted the tweet here? I said this is key support. You remember that? That was the exact low towards reasoning was here. So is it making sense now? How I'm bringing it all together? Yep. So now I can refine this a bit more, okay, and bring in more intra-week levels because we are still within an intra-week range. We haven't really broken out, have we? So what day is capping the market? And I could argue, so this is when Monday's range is confluenced, okay? So this is when I bring in the Monday's range. So let me mark it out like this. This is Monday's low. I'll do it in like a, so that stands out just to save time. That's Monday. That's the brown levels or maroon levels or red level, whatever you want to call it. That's just signifying the Monday's range, okay? So high, low. So that's that. And this is confluence, okay? So if we look at it, okay, this SR was capping the market before. All this is a run. I mean, if it's range bound and it's previous range bound, automatically my mindset is going to be playing mean reversion, isn't it? If market has proven itself, okay, it's capped by this SR level, and we've got some sort of high here, then all I'm trading within is here, aren't I? So the trending, okay, is below here. Okay? So can you see the context was set for range bound opportunities based on what I'm just saying? Okay? Stop asking stupid questions. Okay, so that's that done. So, okay, Monday's high hasn't quite been met, so I'm thinking that's where the initial stops bursting. If it's range bound, I think we're going to go there. It makes more logical sense. Even if they're going to nuke it lower, take that out. Whether or not, if it's going to be range bound or not, I don't know, but that's going to be objective to reach for now. Okay? Because intra-week, that hasn't been taken. We had the Monday's low taken, deviated it, got back above it, okay? So now we can mark out more SR levels within here now. Okay? So let's mark that out now. So what's capping the market is this SR level here. So that's the same pattern or the same chart I've marked out for you guys. Okay? Let's do that here. Okay, so now we're breaking it down. That's the same pattern. I mean, the Coinbase feed, it's not that posted. It hasn't really twice. It doesn't really. I'm not gonna cry over that. Okay, I usually just chart BitMEX trade. I just chart with them. I've always done that. Okay, so in here it doesn't really matter. It's a Sunday. I don't like taking trades on a Sunday. But what I am gonna be looking for is okay. It's late in the day. I mean, I don't really like trading late in the day. If I'm positioned already and if I got a clear validation, okay. So when I charted it, is it clear that we got a clear validation? So if you kept up with the tweets I'm doing or with the Telegram group, you'd already been here. Right here, do I want to take it? I don't know. Okay, I mean it's late. It's just timing of the week. That's all it is. Okay, my probabilities, I don't like him. But what I do know is These are the highs. Yeah, the stop stress in there. Okay, so ideal scenario is, where am I wrong on the idea? So now we've done all of that. Now second phase of the plan is, where do I enter? So before I continue with trigger plans, is everybody clear with me? It's important. Okay, everybody clear? Okay. So that's done now. So scenario one is, say, I was hoping we didn't make a close back up, but scenario one is, we establish ourselves here. So one, I enter the move at the extreme end, okay, which was this earlier on. That was extreme end. You know, we're wrong on the clean break below here, okay. So that was cutoff point. So, okay, that's done now. Can't really do much about that. Scenario two is, do I play the mid range towards here? It's just in the middle of a week, okay. I normally do take it. This is something you gotta do yourself. Gather stats on why certain days playing a mid-range play towards range highs is more high probability or less probability compared to during the week. That's work you gotta do. I can only give you a basic blueprint, and that's why I said the edge is the trader itself, where he knows when to use it and when not to use it, and that is gained by stats, by journaling, shit that 99% of you guys here won't do. You all know who I'm talking about. People don't do it because it's boring. Journaling, gathering stats. I do that all day long. But this is what you must do. So the pattern is nothing. It's the context. And when is that certain pattern work in that certain context higher probable, and when it's lower probable? That you must do yourself. So that's a small level there. Okay, I'm just marking out this stop run. So ideally, I mean, what I would like is, I mean, say in a perfect scenario, if I wasn't already on board, I would like something like, okay, that's level there. If it could dip, okay. One is, I look to buy here. Okay, if I want to buy blindly, then my hard invalidation mode there. That's assuming it's going to be range bound. I'll keep playing until it breaks out. If we wanted further confirmation, okay, get reclaim above that now. If it's a higher low, that's when the higher low comes in. That's like a breaking structure. Reclaim the SR level. Then I would look for a long there, range bound play up towards there. That's scenario one. Is that clear? It doesn't matter which one I find profitable. Trade which market makes more sense to you. That's scenario one, okay? If that happens. It's a bit tight within the range. I prefer more of a room to work with. It is where it is. Scenario two, the breakout play. Well, what's the key levels here? Let's give this a different color so it stands out. Is okay. I've got to be wary of this. So this is the consolidation. So if I was to clear this up, let's think about this now. For a trending breakout environment, what do I want to see? I want us to maintain above previous month's high. Picture how the monthly looks like back then. Okay, so once it gets back above here, how's the monthly looking like? It's looking like a full-blown bullish candle, isn't it? Now at that point, you're asking yourself, so let's go back. It's looking like a bullish candle. We got to go back and say, okay, what are we looking like? Okay, it's looking like this. Well, we're hovering around there. Okay, so we want to hold above. Now, what point? So if I'm looking at on the monthly, I don't know, is it going to be a legit breaker or is it swing failure? I don't know. But what I do know is, what do I need to see? So I need to see that acceptance above it, don't I? Or I need to see my pattern around it. So the fact is, it's hugging around that level. It's a bit of a mean level, okay, that they're not really displacing away from it. So what I would like to see is, let me get a clean chart out, like this. Just from, let's do it, this clean chart. Is a basic pattern I use, okay? So if you didn't like that entry trigger, for next week, I think because it's been consolidated for so long, probability of a breakout is higher. The longer something consolidates, the higher the probability. Actually, what I'll do is I'll show with the previous example first. So here, this was a key SR level we spoke about, right? Remember the monthly high? And this was capping the market. And once it made a clearance back above here, that's it. The breakout was done. Now, I'm looking for the exact same thing. Establish yourself above here, not a swing failure, not this. No, clean break above hold. So in this situation, that was a daily close, and then the second attempt was a high probability. Okay, and then this is where you look at this. At this point, that suggests to me the breakout is done. So I know that we are probability wise, we shouldn't come back within the previous range. That's enough for me to work with to look for a long towards the target I mentioned. Same thing here now. establish yourself above here and hold, not swing failure. That's enough for me as a starting point to say, okay, we are now entering, we're breaking out now, okay? Again, it comes back down to context as to why I believe the probability would be high here. So let's bring back the levels and say, okay, now it depends on what I like to see. So the basic example would be if it does this, consolidate back above, that would be my long, target, target, target. This is basic as that. Level to level play until proven otherwise. And in this situation, I personally look for longs in an environment like this, even if it's level to level, and scalps, and I'll take other alts till this gives me more of a directional. I think this will give me more of a directional. Now, based on context wise, okay, I believe if I'm correct, then that's when basic chart patterns are more probable to work. So now I can bring in my little chart patterns. Okay, so this happening here would establish to me we're ready. Okay, so chart patterns for me make more sense once the context has been established. Does that make sense? It's end up being a teaching session rather than a fucking trading session. 20 minutes on flipping, breaking down the market. 5 minutes on there's the trigger. Everybody clear with that? So I would expect expansion at that point. Yep. And because we're consolidating, I can hold it for a bigger move. So that's that done. So target, like target, okay. Whether it gets to that, I don't know, but at least to run here. And what I'll be looking at is, okay, so if I say that, probability, I think we should go up, okay? That wouldn't be much of a barrier for me because we've had a couple of weeks of attempting to go up. The next time, based on higher time frame, we should bust right through it. So, yeah, that's about it really, okay? Now let's go on to the, okay, what if we do break out? What if we do drop, okay? So, okay, again, I wouldn't get too worried. At what point would I get worried? I mean, when I say worried, okay, even if it came towards this extreme end, all this is showing me is this is the main range, isn't it? So bigger picture wise, this would be great for, like, you know, weeks of consolidation. At what point would I get worried? Is it below January's high? That's gonna get me worried, okay? Even then, I wouldn't get too worried. I mean, again, what are you worried about? If you have a plan to get in and out, what are you really worried about? If you think about it, okay, you're making money both ways. You're just worried because the true reason why people be worried is because they can't make money both ways. If somebody's only able to make money one way, they will hold on to that position, and because they don't know how to get out. If you can take profit and get back in, you got nothing to worry about. Okay, so if you look at this as well, just profit rolling it. This is one range. This is another range. Okay, so let's just focus on this range because that's what we got to deal with for now. Okay, we'll worry about this later on. And even this could be something like this, comes into here. If you go to the extreme end, play to there, and there. That's actually a setup there. If this did happen, okay, just to quickly go over that. If we did get that, I wouldn't be too worried. It's still, on this time frame, still rain band, stops taken, reclaim, and that would be target 1, as proven why that's a magnified price. If it reclaims above here, target towards the range highs. Okay, so we don't have enough time to talk about that, but so let's mark out the smaller time frame, and then I think we're done. I think I spent a bit longer than I would have liked, but but sometimes it requires that. So downside scenario, where am I wrong on the idea? Well, if it makes a break below here, so we know that any movement below here should be short-lived. Okay, so if we get a breakdown from here, and that would suggest to me markets ready to go lower at that point toward this level. Let's be a bit more conservative with the target, okay? I mean, it's not much to work with in the range, but the first objective, I mean, the minimum to expect a bounce would be here, and the extreme end would be here as my target. So it's not much to work with, but it's more of a scalp play for me, okay? And that's all I can really do in a tight range like this, okay? And then if this broke, okay, well, that would signify to me that we entered the second half of the range that we're talking about, and it's just level to level play. So that's how I trade levels, basically. Okay, there's nothing else to it. Yep, that's it. Is that clear? If I do need to update something, follow my Telegram group. Okay, the free one, I'll update in there. Okay, if I see something else. But yeah, context wise, that's why the little chart pattern, like something like this. Somebody's asking me, what about this trend line? Doesn't really matter to me. What does this mean? Doesn't mean fuck all to me. What's more important is the breakdown I did at the beginning. Okay, is that making sense to everybody? yeah, that's what I've got. Okay, so make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please like the video, it helps. Use my link, okay? Support PrimeXBT as they do sponsor these, okay? So if you want more of this stuff, they make it happen, okay? It's them paying me to do it, so I ain't that generous, okay, to be bothered to keep doing it, okay? But yeah. Plus they offer, you know, USDT now, okay, and USDC, so use them. I will catch you guys next week, okay? Join the Telegram group if you want more updates on this stuff, and enjoy the